Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jen Sullivan. Lindsay Hess is off tonight. Panhandling is on the rise in the capital city, and a recent lawsuit ruling protecting their right to ask for money could increase the number of panhandlers even more around the downtown area. The city of Springfield lost a lawsuit over a law that made certain types of begging illegal. Both sides of that lawsuit now speaking out for the first time. News Channel 20's Brendan Cullerton joins us in the studio with the breakdown of that ruling. Brendan, good evening.
Jen, Springfield resident Don Norton has been suing the city for years over what he calls police harassment when he would ask people for money. And yesterday, he got a victory. Both the winning and losing side of the suit agree on what decided the case: the changing way the U.S. Supreme Court views freedom of speech. Don Norton says if it weren't for panhandling, his family might not be here today.
It has helped us get into our home. It got us off the streets. It got me jobs. People didn't realize that, I wasn't just out there panhandling for money. No drugs, no alcohol. We were doing this to survive.
The city had an ordinance that prohibited panhandlers from verbally asking for money in the city's downtown historic district, instead forcing them to use signs. The rule was upheld until the U.S. Supreme Court decided asking people for money is protected under free speech.
What turned this case around for us was that the Supreme Court in June wrote an important First Amendment decision in which they defined content-based discrimination as any discrimination that is facially stated.
Basically, the Supreme Court decided it's not fair to ban some kinds of speech like begging, but not others. The consenting opinion of the Circuit Court's decision stated few speech regulations would survive the new view of the First Amendment. Downtown businesses tell us the rise in panhandlers have turned away customers, and the city has said it's become a nuisance. That's when police stepped in.
We claim that the police in Springfield actually tell panhandlers that they can't panhandle in downtown Springfield at all.
That wouldn't be following the city's own rules. Springfield leaders responded to the news, saying they will review the decision and decide on possible revisions to make the rule compliant with the new definition of freedom of speech. Norton says it all comes down to respect.
If they don't want to give, fine, you don't have to. But don't harass us, One day you might be poor. I mean, everybody is a paycheck away from being homeless.
Brendan, so this new ruling says that the city can't arrest panhandlers, but what happens to all the people that are currently behind bars because the city already arrested them because of this?
Well, Jen, it's all up in the air. Norton's attorney says that they're seeking damages for those individuals, and that part of the suit is still very much on. Springfield leaders say this news just came out yesterday, and they haven't decided on a plan of action yet.
This story was first brought to our attention because some business owners told News Channel 20 they're upset that the panhandlers are coming and ruining their business. So the city was going to step in and help them out. What are they going to do now? Are they just going to give up on this issue? Again,
Jen, the jury's still out, right? It came out just yesterday. They obviously have to comply with the court's ruling, but they plan on coming up with some legal potential alternatives to the old law in the next 30 to 60 days.
All right, Brendan, it's very interesting to see what happens going forward. Thanks very much for that report.